Sheik's forward tilt is a powerful neutral and punish game tool that can be challenging to deal with regardless of skill level. Hitting on frame 5, forward tilt is a fast move that's great at starting up combos, punishing approaches, and setting up for kills. However, F-tilt still has 17 frames of lag, which, while not ridiculously long, is more than enough time to punish it if you know what you're doing. In fact, forward tilt is far from unstoppable, and every character in the game has ways to punish Sheik players that are throwing it out way too frequently. This video will cover 5 ways to counter F-tilt so that you can effectively punish Sheik players who love to throw it out in neutral. It's worth noting that while some characters have access to every one of these options, lower tier characters may not be able to use certain punish methods. Thankfully, every character in the cast can punish Sheik's F-tilt in neutral with at least a couple different methods, so I recommend experimenting with your character after you've learned each method to find what works best. Also, because I'm covering how to punish it in neutral, this means I won't be covering how to deal with Sheik's F-tilt in terms of when you've already been hit by it. Generally, the solution to that is just to DI out. Because F-tilt is such a powerful move, it's essential to know how to punish it. Just watch this clip and see how often Plup throws it out in his neutral game versus Leffen at the Big House 7.
Tomahawk with an additional thread of the needles.
Yeah, that's scary.
I don't know if he did it on purpose like that, but that's what he had me thinking. Oh, look at that! Look at that run cancel down. Run cancel forward tilt.
If you're paying attention, Plup threw out 4 F-tilts in that small, short exchange. So let's figure out how to punish that. The first method to punish F-tilt is wave dash down. While most players frequently use wave dash back and wave dash forward in neutral, wave dashing in place or down is a powerful option many new players haven't considered, and many more experienced players forget to utilize to the fullest. When you wave dash in place, your goal is to place your character just outside of F-tilt range, so you can run in and punish Sheik afterwards during her end lag. Executing this generally works by running up towards Sheik, then wave dashing in place to bait out the forward tilt and punish after. The reason why this is arguably better than wave dashing back is that you don't position your character too far away from Sheik to punish the end lag of forward tilt. As you can see in this example, by wave dashing back, Hax didn't have enough time to punish the forward tilt's lag and Mewtwo King got his shield up in time. This scenario demonstrates why wave dash down can be very effective. So if you succeed in baiting the F-tilt, depending on your character you can punish with a grab or some other combo starting move, and if they're at higher percents, you can use a harder hitting move to kill them. The dash dance method is very similar to wave dash down, as the goal is to space just outside of forward tilt's range and punish the end lag. To punish F-tilt with a dash dance, you simply dash towards your opponent to bait out the F-tilt and then dash back to avoid the F-tilt hitbox. If you succeed in avoiding the F-tilt, run back in and punish it the same way you would with the examples I used in wave dash down. On top of this method being a reliable way to punish F-tilt happy Sheiks, I personally believe dash dancing just outside of the range of forward tilt is a great exercise to improve your dash dance game and spacing in general, as the timing is kinda tricky if you're not used to it. Also, if your character doesn't have a great dash dance, such as with Jigglypuff, you can perform an aerial dash dance where you bait out the F-tilt and then punish with an aerial. It's very similar, so I'm grouping them together. While the previous methods focus on outspacing the F-tilt, this method abuses the position of F-tilt's hitbox. F-tilt is fast and has decent range, but it doesn't protect Sheik from aerial attacks very effectively, making Sheik vulnerable to attacks from above. While every character can use this method, this is especially effective for characters with strong downward hitboxes that attack from above and start combos. For example, Fox can full hop drill and Falco can full hop dare to potentially start up a big combo by attacking from above. My advice is simply to experiment with your character and figure out what attacks work best when trying to bait a forward tilt from above. All the past options I've shown you involve avoiding the F-tilt, but crouch canceling allows you to take the hit and punish afterwards. Like many of her moves, Sheik's forward tilt is vulnerable to crouch canceling at low percent, so if you're struggling to punish Sheik's F-tilt, simply hold down, take the hit, and punish afterwards. This is very dependent on spacing and your character's ability to close the distance, so be aware that if a Sheik player is spaced very far away from you, you might not be able to punish it in time. The final way to punish F-tilt is also the most obvious, which is to shield the F-tilt and punish out of shield. Personally, if you notice your opponent is spamming F-tilt, this shouldn't be your primary way of countering it, as shielding severely limits your options. On top of this, it's also fairly spacing dependent, so if the Sheik player isn't close enough, you might not get a punish at all. Despite all that, you'll inevitably end up shielding an F-tilt at some point, and if you're close enough, you can punish out of shield in a variety of ways. Besides shield grabbing, you can up smash out of shield, aerial out of shield, and use a variety of other character-specific options. Once again, my advice is to experiment to see which shield option works best in which scenario, and which one you're most comfortable with so you can do it consistently. Even though I said there are 5 techniques, there's arguably another method, which is simply to wait for your opponent to come to you. While this sounds like strange advice, too often people run into F-tilt after F-tilt simply because they have to approach their opponent all the time. Sheik is a character with a fantastic defensive game, and F-Tilt is one of her many defensive tools that she can use to wall you out and prevent you from being able to punish her. While F-Tilt is useful offensively, I personally think it's strongest in neutral as a defensive tool to wall out your opponent and bait them into unsafe approaches. Sheik generally struggles to approach in most matchups because of crouch cancel and limited options in general, so rather than playing into the strength of Sheik and F-Tilt itself, wait for Sheik to come to you and avoid dealing with defensive F-Tilt altogether. And that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Micro Melee. If you'd like to support the channel, you can subscribe, like the video, or leave a comment. You can also support me on Patreon using the link on screen or in the video description. I recently realized I make about 25 cents per hour making these videos, so Patreon support really goes a long way to helping the channel grow. That's why I'd like to shout out Joseph Escobar, Ryan Binstock, Zach Roy, John Drumm, and all the other Patreon supporters that I've gained over the past couple of weeks. I'd also like to shout out Evan Oliver for once again helping me record all of these clips. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.